Welcome to the Physics 114 Excel tutorial, where we're going to go over some of the basic features of the software which we will be using quite extensively throughout the semester. So let's begin with opening an blank Excel spreadsheet. And this may look a little bit different on your machine since I'm using Mac-based software, but I'm sure that many of these features are quite the same. So let's just make this a little bit bigger. We're going to begin quite simple with some of the very basic algebraic operations that you will continually use during the studio activities. And we'll start with the simplest and maybe just start with addition. So assuming, again, we want to encourage you to use Excel as much as possible whenever you're carrying out calculations, data analysis in your studio activities rather than using your calculator, and to use the power of the spreadsheet when you're doing these calculations. So we begin simple, as I said, when we'll start out with adding two numbers. So again, just to give you the basic layout, we have all of the spreadsheet consisting of all these cells with our columns labeled with letters and our rows labeled with numbers. So I'm going to enter the number, let's say the number 4 into cell A2 and the number 5 into cell A3. So assuming that I want to add these two quantities, these two numbers, whenever we start a formula, we want to begin with an equal sign. In this, and I'm going to the sum of these numbers will be in cell A5, so I'll begin with an equal sign. And I got two options here. I want to add the number in cell A2 to that in A5, so I can type A2, and this will highlight, as you can see, cell A2. So you can type in the cell number if you like. You can also click on the cell number directly, or click on the cell. And then the add sign for the addition, we just use the plus symbol to add A2, and then I can click on A3. You'll also see this calculation here in the formula bar, which is sort of where you want to go to. You obviously can see it here in the cell also. So if I click enter, this will give us the sum of these two values. Again, since this cell A5 now consists of a formula of these two cells, changing these cells will change that number. So if I change this number from 5 to 6 and press return, this cell is formula driven to give you the sum of these two cells. So whenever these two cells change, this cell will automatically change. Okay, so let's continue with, again, and let's shorten this column with the other basic algebraic operations. So we begin with subtraction. I'll enter the number 10 maybe into cell C2 and the number 5 into cell C3. And again, if I want to subtract these two numbers, I want to subtract 5 from 10, I'm going to start with this cell C2, click on cell C2, then I use the minus symbol to get the subtraction, and then I'll click on cell C3, again press return, and I'll give the subtraction of 5 from 10, 10 minus 5. I might also want to highlight these cells, so I can, if you hold down the control, the Apple symbol on a Mac, you can highlight these cells maybe, and I'll change the color of these cells using this symbol here, just to indicate that these are formula driven and that these are the consistent formula that we want for these two operations. Okay, let's keep going. We'll do multiplication. So again, I'll enter the number 3, for instance, in cell E2, and enter the number 4 in cell E3. So if I want to multiply two numbers, here we're going to use the star symbol. So if I click on cell E2, to get the star symbol you need to use Shift 8. If you look at on your keyboard for this star symbol, the star symbol will give us the value or the operation for multiplication. So I'm going to multiply these two cells to give us 12, and again I'll highlight this cell. So again, when you want to multiply, remember to use Shift 8 or the star symbol. Lastly, we will look at division. We want to divide two numbers. Let's put in the number maybe 15 in cell G2 and 3 in cell G3. If I want to divide two numbers, we're going to use the backslash symbol. So 15 backslash 3, and then again highlighting these cells changes this gives us the value of 15 divided by 3. And again, if I change this number here to 5, for instance, this formula is this will now give me the division of these two cells. So this may look a little trivial, and it is a little simple to begin with, but we want to encourage you that when you get to more complicated formulae, that using Excel will be much more efficient than ever using your calculator. Okay, so we'll stop there.